For words of introduction. Once more, heartily welcome to the webinar organized by Convincing People College and with People Institute of Science and Technology coaching. Today's topic is the need of a paradigm shift in management skills and approach to management problems. Now, in this context, I wish to take you to the brief history of evolution of management. Know that the subject of management, it is nearly 200 years old. The Industrial Revolution originated in England and spread to different parts of the world in 18th and 19th centuries, were the motivation for developing a subject called management. It is a subject of interdisciplinary. We make use of psychology, sociology, mathematics, all these subjects they are properly blended to get the subject. Then, in the early 20th century, the World War I and World War II brought some substantial changes in the approach towards management. And in 1908, Harvard Business School started the first MBA program in the world. After 1940, there are again some substantial changes. It is mainly because of the coming of computers. The coming of computers and also the quantitative method, or to put in a different words, the development of operation research techniques brought a new era in management thinking. It basically centered around optimization. Or from 1950-60 onwards, management science became more scientific, more mathematical, more quantitative, based on policies, policy frameworks, and so on. But the year 1991 was a turning point in the evolution of management science. Until 1991, the management thoughts were governed by the conventional theories and also the later part, the quantitative, mathematical, statistical, computer-based approach. But in 1991, the world moved towards a new international global order, what is called as globalization or liberalization. LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. As a result of this globalization, there are 2 or 3 major changes in management thought. Number 1 is the opening of the world economy. And when the world economy was opened, naturally it led to competition. So what we require is a competitive managerial approach. A competitive managerial approach. Then there is one more slogan for globalization. So these philosophies brought changes in management thinking. And from 1990s onwards, we have some materials, even textbooks titled as Management in a Globalized Year. Now, whether this globalization was good or bad, what impact it has created on the world economy, it is highly debatable. because the Great Recession of 2008, some economists like Paul Krugman believed that why there is a Great Depression is mainly because of a free enterprise system motivated as a part of globalization. Of course, it is debatable, but 2008 brought some new thinking in management evolution and also management thought. And today, for the last 6 months, the world is experiencing the coronavirus. Coronavirus had its impact on the corporate sector and also public sector, mainly in the form of displacement of labor, loss in revenue, reduction in profit. So there are new economic, financial challenges. Even in marketing also, the uh, scope of physical marketing is highly curtailed during the last 3 or 4 months. Now, there is a very important question. What about the prospects of uh, management qualified students, I mean MPA? What about the opportunities for management professionals tomorrow? All these are widely discussed among the management circles today. For example, the marketing. Earlier, we believed in the physical marketing, but today, for the last 1 or 2 decades, we move towards the digital marketing. When we move on to digital marketing, a good amount of marketing cost can be reduced. But
ఇప్పుడు ఓకే కదా, నాకేమి అనిపించట్లేదు. ఎవరో కనిపిస్తున్నారు ఇప్పుడు. ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్ చెప్పట్లేదుగా, అదే.
సార్ వాయిస్ క్లియర్గా లేదు సార్, ఏమి వినపట్టలేదు.
Okay, sir, you can continue, sir.
Sir, your voice is not audible.
Sir, we cannot hear what you say. Please switch on your audio, unmute your audio, sir. Please unmute your audio.
Good morning. Good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. All of you are fine and safe. Okay, as sir was telling, we live in an we are forced to think about various things today. Until January or until February 2020, we were living in our own world. We were not worried about what is the future. Most of the students were not worried about the subjects that they learned or the prospective jobs that they were expected to get. But now there is a paradigm shift. We are worried. We are not aware, or we do not know what is in front of us. We have a feeling that every day when we read newspapers or when you look into the electronic media, what we see around us is that jobs are being slashed, companies are downsizing, people are losing jobs. So is there a scope for me to join an organization? That is the worry that most of the students have today. Will I get a job if I complete? Earlier, when I complete a course, when I go into hunting jobs, I need to complete similar degree or people of my same age group. But today, you are not only going to compete with your own classmates or with your batch mates, but you're also going to compete with people who have lost jobs.
7817.
To have so that successful. What is it?
కింద పాస్వర్డ్ అని వస్తుంది.
Make us
వచ్చిందా?
but then only 10% of engineering colleges are employable.
మీ దాంట్లో జూమ్ ఉందా?
Are employable. So what is the employability skills that we lack? Is there a difference between what is being taught in the curriculum and what we get, what is expected of us as employees in an organization? So there is a paradigm shift. So we need to understand what is it that we need to do. One important thing that we all of us need to understand is everything that we see around us is not negative. There are a lot of positive things that we have got, opportunities that we have got as a result of COVID. Most of us are sitting at home. We have ample time available with us. We do have online classes from our colleges, schools. But even then, when you spend 5 hours or 6 hours in our college, today we spend only 3 hours or 2 hours for online education. Equip ourselves for courses that are in demand. So which are the skills that is in demand? That is again that need to be noted on. In the present scenario, we see a number of industries are closing down, number of organizations are cutting down jobs. People are asked to sit at home and work. Are we ready to work in an environment like that? We are made ourselves in such a way that we go to an organization, work from 10 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 7, and then we want to relax at home. We no longer have that leisure. We are in an era of 27. So how are we going to equip ourselves, keep our skill set ready to put in this shoe? So that is what we need to see. So there are certain things that you need to understand. One is change is the only thing that is constant today. If you are ready to adapt to changes, if we are fast enough to see what happens around us, if we are ready to accept the new changes that happen around us, then we can be successful. Adaptability to change is one important factor that all of us need to have. So how can we adapt to changes that happen around us? To adapt to changes, we need to know what are the things that need to be done in the new normal. The new normal today is using digitalization. Companies are more and more becoming digitalized. Automation has come in. So are we equipped to take up this automation? Are we equipped to work on this digital platform? So to work on a digital platform, what is it that we require? We need certain skills. So from where are we going to get these skills? We do not have colleges now. Most of us are sitting at home. We do have, and the curriculum that is taught to us are pre-COVID. The curriculum of the universities or colleges are not equipping us to take up the new normal. So we need to equip ourselves. So we need to understand what are the changes that need to be done. Only if we are able to adapt to these changes, we can be successful. We are all aware about the case of Nokia phones. Nokia phone was one of the most prominent, the market leader in mobile phone industry, cellular phone industry. But today, we no longer see them. People do not have a Nokia phone at all. There was a time when all the most of 90% of the mobile phones sold in India or across the globe were Nokia phones. But today, we hardly see 1%, or we don't even see anybody having a Nokia phone. Company has gone out of business. They no longer sell Nokia phones. Why is it so? They were not able to adapt to changes. Only people who can adapt to changes can be successful. It is equally applicable to individuals like us. So we need to adapt to change. So I'll broadly classify my time into three broad areas. We should concentrate more on adaptability and flexibility. How adaptable we are to changes and how flexible we are to do works that is entrusted to us. Are we going to restrict ourselves to the time of amount of time and work that you're going to put into an organization? Are we ready to stretch ourselves? How far are we ready to stretch? We need to keep that in mind. Next thing is how tech savvy we are. What are the skill sets that we are going to learn new, or what is it that you're going to take during this period so that we are equipped for our future jobs? We should be in such a way that we reach that 15% of people who are employable. So to become that employability skills, what are the employability skills that we need to take up? Then another thing that we need to understand is with automation, they require less people in organizations. If they're going to require less people in an organization, again, the job market is going to shrink. If the job market is going to shrink, what are the other opportunities that is available to us? Actually, COVID-19 has brought in a lot of opportunities, thrown in a lot of opportunities for each one of us. We can identify what are the things that we are going to get out of it. So we'll start with a few things. See, we say that industries are closing down, people are losing jobs, but there are industries which are growing. For example, the healthcare sector, the pharmaceutical sector, the consultancy. These are areas that are growing vast at a very large pace. Consultancy, because every organization want to find out what is it that they need to do so that they remain in business. Every organization, every company, in whichever sector they are, they want to identify which is that one area that they need to survive. So if you are not a science graduate, consultancy is one area where you can thrive, you can work, because many new startup consultancies, organizations, industries, sectors, companies are coming up to identify which are the areas that they can succeed. To work in consultancy sector, there are few skills that you need. See, I understand most of the people who are attending this webinar are people from the commerce or management background, discipline. So we need to understand how we are going to equip ourselves with skills that will help us survive in the coming days. Are our curriculum equipping us to get jobs? See, you look at a management graduate or a commerce graduate, it says that the most important skills that we require are business analytics skills, digital marketing skills. These are skills that is most required in the present era. So how are we going to, most of the curriculum in universities and colleges subjects, or even when they have it as a subject, you learn business analytics or digital marketing as a subject in your curriculum. We are not equipped to work in an organization with the limited knowledge that we get. So what do? We have opportunity to enroll in online courses during the lockdown period. Most of us are sitting at home. We do not have colleges. We need not go to colleges. So we do have time available with us. So online courses, are they very costly? No. Earlier, we need to pay for most of the
Okay, madam. Sound. Just unmute yourself. Unmute, madam. Unmute. Please unmute yourself. We cannot hear a voice. We cannot hear your voice.
Am I audible?
Okay. Now we can hear you. Now we can hear.
Sorry, there were some connection issues. To be successful, there are a certain number of courses. Am I audible? Can you see me?
Yeah, you are audible. We can hear, but we cannot see you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, okay, madam. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. There were some internet issues. So, as we were discussing, there are a number of online platform courses that have been that is offered to us on an online platform that can equip us for better jobs. So they make us learn new courses that will be make us employable. Even learning things alone will it get us better jobs? There are also other skills that we need. So what are they? Are we creative enough? Creativity and innovation is another thing that will get us better jobs, make us employable. So how creativity and innovation is one thing that organizations look for in their employees today, because in this present world, they cannot operate how the business models that have been existing till 1920 or 2020 January cannot be emulated or cannot be followed in the present world. So what needs to be done? So some changes had to be done. So if you look at the hospitality industry, or if you look at the travel and tourism industry was one that was contributing nearly major chunk to our Indian economy. It held a second place after the IT sector. They are a standstill. But then we see some travel and tourism companies coming up with innovative models. They have options for people working from home to shift to resorts. They give us a workstation where you can sit in a resort and you can work. So or some startups have come up where they show you locations in a 3D model. You need not travel. Sitting at your home, you pay a little fee, you get to see places. In 3D model, they are showing us the places. So creativity and innovative is another way that you can be successful. But then creativity and innovation cannot be taught. That has to come from within ourselves. How can we become creative and innovative in things that we do? To be creative and innovative, we need to understand the basics of that particular sector. So from where do we learn the basics? Our own curriculum, the subjects that we learn in our schools and colleges. That gives us the basic knowledge about the industry. See, management or commerce is one area where it cannot be closed. You cannot say that any organization or any company cannot survive without its industries. It is necessary, it is essential that you need to have industries in the company. Only then economy can contribute. Only then economy can survive. So we need to understand what are the how do we contribute in whichever job that we do. So there are few things that you need to understand. One is we need to be flexible and adaptable to new changes that happen around us. How can we be flexible, ready to take up newer jobs? We need to be adaptable to changes that happen around us. Learn new digital skills. How learn new ways by which you can understand the programming or other languages. See, when we talk about, I said business analytics is one area that is of great demand today. So business analytics, you can use a time to learn R programming, Python. All these are easy, user-friendly programming languages. If you understand, if you know how to use the computer, and if you know the basics of business and some amount of business business statistics and mathematics, you'll be able to do R programming and Python. So these are skills that you can learn over a period of time. All these programs are available. Business analytics using R or Python are taught in Coursera, edX, Swayam platform. All these are available at a throwaway prices or so all of us can learn these new skills during the time that is available to us. You can learn it within a month or 2 months, so we can use our time to learn these new skills. Then we can also make ourselves more creative. How can we make ourselves more creative? Learn your basics better. We have more time available with us. Understand our basics. We'll be able to be successful. So I think I'll stop here. So I think now Sunita ma'am will brief you about the skills that is required in the HR sector.
Okay, thank you. Am I audible? Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah, madam, you can start. You are audible. You can start.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, good morning, everyone. Let me thank the coordinators of this webinar for arranging such a vital session during this pandemic. I would also like to thank them for giving me as well a role to take part in this venture. So if my colleague Ms. Nisha was talking about the skill sets required for marketing professionals in post-corona world, I would be talking about that in an HR perspective. As you all know, the pandemic has almost left us high and dry. Industry experts are predicting unprecedented economic downfall, which would lead to job loss and pay cuts. The governments of various countries have already started announcing financial packages to ease the damage done by extended periods of this lockdown. Currently, the lockdown in India has been extended thrice, and there is a big possibility that it will be extended again. This has actually paralyzed our lives and caused major setbacks to many industries like hospitality, aviation, MSME, medium, small, and micro enterprises, among others. However, we can still utilize this period to develop new skills that will help us take forward our career in our post-coronavirus world. Actually, that is our topic for webinar today. So let's look at a few such job skills that help us survive in the professional world after the pandemic is over. 2-3 points which I've prepared, which has already been discussed by my colleagues. So I'll be skipping all those points. The first one, which is required for an HR professional, is, I would say, it is the leadership skill. When a ship is in trouble, only an able captain can sail it through, troubled water. During this hour of crisis, people with strong leadership qualities can lead a team to success. Industry experts are predicting work from home to be the next big thing. Already many tech giants have asked their employees to work from home, maybe till the end of 2020. So people with strong leadership skills who can manage team distantly, inspire teammates to work hard and bring out the best in others would be a safe bet for companies. So it's time to hone your leadership qualities. Next important skill which is required is the emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. I would say very much closely linked to leadership is another skill that is even more important in uncertain and challenging times. Is the emotional quotient, the ability to be aware of, express, and control our emotions and be aware of others' emotions is what this EQ is all about. Times when people might feel uncertain about their job and the future of their business, it is key to connect with people on an emotional level. Individuals with strong, that's why individuals with strong EQ will be coveted by organizations of all sizes and in all industries. Okay, and next thing which I would like to share you about the technology skill, which has already been discussed by my friend about R programming, Python, all those things. So I'm not discussing that. As I know, I guess most of the attendees of this webinar are from management stream, right? And this management students study multiple topics in the domains of business and management, and hence are better equipped to handle various crisis situations, including what this pandemic like COVID-19 and all. So the management students acquire the required knowledge, skills, and the competency and become adept at the case analysis and what other problem solving in response to some real world problems. The management students master actually the art of case analysis during the management program. The post-COVID the post-COVID scenario is likely to pose many challenges and offer multiple solutions as well. The students should analyze actually the problems at their hands and should explore the all possible solutions. The global pandemic coronavirus resulted in worldwide destruction, as we all know, with educational institutions shut for almost 3 months, even more than that in many places, and probably inoperative for another 3 months. Students have already lost the first half of the new year to the catastrophic catastrophic virus. Thus, the need of the RS to ensure that a student's future is secure and learning is delivered seamlessly. It is thus imperative that along with the education system, our teachers also undergo a facelift to adapt to the new world over. So here I would like to share with you some job skills you could obtain to succeed in a post coronavirus world. And my humble request to the teachers who are attending this webinar, please mold your students in such a way that they acquire these skills. As most of us are in lockdown at home, we are left to wonder what a post coronavirus world might look like. There is a lot unknown about how the world will transform after we get the novel coronavirus under control. But it is extremely back exactly the way they were before. Our workplaces are likely to change, and with it, the skills companies will require. So let me move ahead with those job skills that are required in the post coronavirus world. First one, which I was supposed to explain, was the adaptability and flexibility, but which has been already discussed, so I'm not explaining it in detail. And the second one is the tech savviness. One of the best way to prepare yourself for a post coronavirus world is to acquire the technology skills. The reality is that technologies such as artificial intelligence, big data, Internet of Things, virtual and augmented reality, then what other robotics will make business more resilient to future pandemics. So be aware about all this technical know-how, and creative at the same time, creativity as well as innovation is also very much important. So how can you be more creative and think more innovatively? As my friend told, cannot be taught. Creativity cannot be taught, or innovation cannot be taught. What are then how you can be more creative and think more innovatively? Throw yourself into inspiration. That is one tip which can be given to you. And don't be afraid to get creative, and don't be afraid to fail, because failures teach us lessons, right? And find what you're passionate about and research it. Do thorough research on it and find out what you are passionate about. And you can network with others in your industry. You can share your goals with your team. You can keep up to date with industry trends and news. And these are some of the tips for improving your creativity and the innovation. Data literacy is also very much important. And the next important thing which I would like to share is the skill is the critical thinking. Okay, which is very essential as our global economy rebuilds from the damage which is caused by COVID-19. Is the critical thinking. During this pandemic, we have seen a spike in fake news and many misrepresentations of data and studies as leaders, businesses, and governments are trying to shift blame and divert attention and proper scrutiny. People who can objectively evaluate this information from diverse sources to determine what is credible will only be valued. Not all information should be trusted, but organizations will need to rely on critical thinking to understand what information should inform decision making. And wonderful skill, another wonderful skill that you should need is the communication skill. These skills are even more important as COVID-19 has led to a dramatic increase in employees working remotely, a change that is likely to stick around after the pandemic fades. So effective communication foundations will always be an asset in the workplace, no matter your function or industry. Start by learning how to better pitch yourself to employers, helping you stand out from the crowd at a time when so many will be applying for the same jobs. So brushing upon your body language skills will help you communicate and empathize with their colleagues and managers in a newly digital workplace. And towards the end of my presentation, I would like to share an important skill which is required, which is the commitment to a lifetime of learning. According to the World Economic Forum, World Economic Forum, in just 5 years, almost 35% of the skills deemed essential for a workforce today will change. There is only one way to remain relevant in a post-coronavirus reality: commitment to a lifetime of learning. Now, it has become abundantly clear that skilling is the need of the hour. Today, it doesn't require years of study or hefty loans to build up your skill set to be prepared for a post-coronavirus world. There are endless free and open online courses, as told by my friend, which is available that will help you improve your skill. To put it simple, the best way to enhance the professional skill is to master Microsoft products like Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, which are considered to be the key tools for any industry leaders, and communication skills, which always take the lead. So please, my humble request to your participants, please take advantage of all those online courses to improve your knowledge and skills. Above all, from my own experience, I would like to tell you that you learn from your own experience and learn more about how you can develop your HR skills. With this, I would like to conclude my session, and a big round of applause to all the participants for the patient listening. Thank you. Now, my friend and colleague, Ms. Jaya Jisti, will be handling the next session. Thank you.
Hello. Am I audible?
You are audible, madam.
So, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Jaya Jistri, Assistant Professor, School of Management at DePaul Institute of Science and Technology. First of all, I take this opportunity to thank the coordinators of this webinar for giving this opportunity to participate in this webinar. Okay. We have already listened to our director, Dr. K.P. Mani, Assistant Professor Nisha, and Sunita, who have already talked about the skill sets that is required in the two main domain areas, that is marketing and HR. So I would like to now focus on the third area, which is finance. Okay. So as you all know, that the current situation that is created by this pandemic, that is caused by COVID-19, it has actually left all the countries in the world in an unfathomable situation. Indian scenario is also not different. And we may feel that the picture is not very rosy for especially finance graduates. But there is no need to be disheartened, okay? Since the best solution is to be proactive and hone up your skill sets demanded by the new changed conditions or the by new normal. So the other two domain areas, unlike the other two domain areas like marketing and HR, finance had already embraced digitalization even back in the last century. And digitalization of financial sectors has actually revolutionized the accounting sector as well as the financial reporting functions. Now, almost all the financial sectors have gone digital. Digitalization of financial services have even penetrated deeply even to the rural areas. So, how can we actually cope up with the new situation, or how can we find a placement or a job opportunity in the changed conditions? That is what a finance graduate has to think. Now is the time for thinking about thinking in that line. Okay. So we, as you all know, that the growth opportunities in financial sector is very closely related to the general economic conditions. And we know that the economic growth in the current scenario is not very promising, both nationally and globally. But that should not actually like pull you back. You should not feel pessimistic about the situation. The thing is that if you have got the right tools or right equipments with you, you can overcome any such situation, adverse situation. There is no doubt about that. The only thing is that you have to adapt yourself or adapt your skill sets to face the new challenges. That is what you have to do. And it is this time is the right time to think in that line. Before we move on to the discussions about the skills that is required for a finance graduate, I would like to speak about the different areas where a finance graduate could find job opportunities and build a career. So there are n number of opportunities which is scattered out around different sectors. We have got the banking sector, which is a backbone of any country's economy. We have got the insurance sector, the stockbroking sector, investment banking sector. We have got the consultancy services, both business consultancy, tax consultancy, mutual funds, wealth management, etc., to name a few. Okay, so the first step a finance graduate has to make, or first decision that a graduate or a student has to make, is to decide on which sector that I would like to get a placement in. For that, you have to do a SWOT analysis or a self SWOT analysis. Different individuals have different strengths, different weaknesses, different passions, different interests, etc. So you have to identify your strong points or your passions, your interests, etc. After doing that, you have to decide on, okay, which sector I would like to concentrate on, because different sectors require different skill sets. Once you have identified your passionate area or area of interest, then it is easy. Okay, now I have found that, okay, I'm good in accounting, so I have got accounting skills. So you have to develop skills that will help you to get a good job in that kind of a job. Okay, suppose sometimes you may be good in analytics or research, then you can develop your skill sets in that area, so that you can find a job in corporate finance or consultancy, etc. Okay, so as you all know that a career in finance sector, like the conventional belief, it is not restricted to typical accounting job or a clerical job, but doesn't demand too many skills. Now the options are manifold, and so are the challenges, and so are the skills that is needed to excel in those. Okay. So what are the key skills that is required to be acquired to get a head start in this domain area? Firstly, anyone who wants to build a career in finance should definitely have the technical or computing skills. Already the two speakers have already told, computing skills and tech savviness, it has become an indispensable part of every individual, right from a kindergarten student to even people who have reached retirement age, because it has become our new way of life. Accept it, adapt to that change, be flexible to change. That's the first thing. And it is mandatory to have good practical experience or knowledge, at least in one or two accounting packages, accounting softwares, which is commonly used in the corporate sector. Especially if you're planning for a career in a global company or an international company, it would be better if you have got some exposure or training in any accounting software package or an ERP package which is used by global companies, and it would help you to get a good leverage to begin your career. So this is what basically that you require if you're interested in an accounting related job. In this context, I would also like to mention the fact that there are many back-end jobs that are being outsourced from many foreign countries in the area of accounting, where graduates with that in-depth knowledge in accounting and good communication skills can find placements. So what you have to do is that you should have a very good or in-depth knowledge in accounting concepts and the area of accounting. And this is where a very chunk of the job opportunities may arise, and India's youth can be proud that we have got a very good very large number of youngsters. Okay, the a young population is very large in number, and if we can equip ourselves with the basic education and the skill sets, we can beat any country in this world. That is our strength, the strength of India. So what you have to do is that you have to actually use this opportunity of this pandemic to to capitalize on all those opportunities that are opening up. Okay, so that's the first skill that I would like I would like to suggest for a finance graduate who is interested in accounting type of job to acquire. Next important skill that is essential for a finance professional is logical and analytical skills at a managerial level. If you want to go into higher up in the career or level of management, definitely analytical skills and logical skills are very important. Effective use of data analysis and research is very crucial in decision making, and these skills are very important, especially if you are choosing a career in stock markets or investment banking or consultancy or mutual funds, etc. So proficiency in the use of computers will give you a competitive edge, especially which is helpful in doing research and analytics, like the other two speakers were talking about all those tools which could be helpful in making research analysis. Okay, so a good working knowledge in any such software package could help you to go high up in your career ladder in finance domain area. And finance sectors usually work under regulatory framework. This is a very dynamic area. Constant changes are happening in the regulatory environment. Changes in the laws related to the areas of tax, corporate finance, etc. are very common. And nowadays, many mergers and acquisitions, that is foreign mergers and acquisitions, etc., takeovers, etc., are happening in the international front also. So most of the job aspirants who enter this finance domain area without a law degree, this area can be a gray area. Why? Because keeping updated with the legal and regulatory compliances, it can be an added advantage if you're pursuing careers, especially in taxation and corporate laws, including international laws, banking, consultancy, wealth management, corporate finance, corporate restructuring, etc. So this is an area where the finance students, they do not give much attention to. And if you want to excel in the jobs, this is an area where you could concentrate. Okay, that means keep acquainted yourself with the legal aspects, all the changes that is happening in these areas. There are many opportunities that you could find to start a business on this GST or tax consultancy, etc. There, this is very, very important. Okay, so that is one area where if you're interested in taxation and tax related aspects, then our consultancy, etc., this is a skill that you could develop. Okay, then as I've told you, finance graduates, they can no more afford to restrict themselves to their office spaces or their home work from home spaces, juggling with numbers. Okay, that time is gone. Market awareness and adapting to meet the changing demands of the customers, and innovation in products and services is equally important. The two speakers have already talked about the need for adaptability, flexibility, the need for innovation, etc. And finance job aspirants also need to acquire all those skills. To build a career in finance, you should have good marketing skills and interpersonal skills as well. Nowadays, even finance job, job at a bank or insurance, etc., they have got targets to meet. So those skills also you have to acquire. That is efficient use of digital platforms to do the marketing and selling, and interpersonal building interpersonal relationship, that has to be acquired as well. So this kind of skills is very essential if you're pursuing a career in banking or insurance or wealth management, consultancy, etc. So depending on the area of your passion, you have to develop your skills. Communication is a key to success in any job. When asked about the key skills that is required for an investment banking job, the top hiring manager of an international investment bank told that there are only two aspects that they look into in a candidate, a prospective candidate. One is good communication skill. Second is the right and positive attitude. If these two basic ingredients are there in a candidate, then definitely they could mold and train these candidates to a good employee of the company. And when it comes to communication skills, the finance graduates may be thinking, why do we need communication skills? Of course, that is very important. Communication skills it means a lot of things. Good telephone and email etiquettes, and familiarity in using communication applications. Meeting applications are very important. How to host or join a virtual meeting, how to behave during such meetings, etc., are very, very important. So I would communication skills is important for every domain, irrespective of the domain. The basic skill that is required, that you have to develop, is a communication skill. The skill to communicate, write, speak over telephone, over how to communicate through mails, emails, etc. These are all very, very important. Okay, so those who are interested, another major area for finance students is the stock market. Those who are interested in stock markets and related jobs, it is compulsory that you should develop a keen interest in the movement that is happening in the stock market. You have to closely observe and analyze the price movements and how the stock market indexes are moving, and what are the consequences of that on the general economy of the country. And this is very, very important. Research and constant observation is very important if you want to build a career in that sector. Gain extra certifications in stockbroking and other related areas. Getting that can be helpful in getting jobs in this sector. Okay, together with these skills, I would like to talk about certain general skills also that has to be acquired. One is self-discipline. Okay, self-discipline is very important in any kind of job. That's one skill. Then maintaining good interpersonal relationship with all the stakeholders is another important aspect, because now it is getting more and more competitive. Keeping your clients and other stakeholders happy is very important. Assuring availability, your availability at all times to the stakeholders is very important. You cannot restrict yourselves for a time period from 9 to 5 as we used to do in the pre-COVID era. No, that is not. That is not. That may not work anymore. Okay, going an extra mile to support clients. You know, working professionals now they are available 24/7, and they may extend their office hours even to till 11 o'clock. That is the need of the hour because it is also competitive. Not giving unrealistic promises or returns from investments. This is one tip I would like to give the finance graduates, especially if you are going into investment banking or mutual funds or stock market, etc. Don't give unrealistic promises because the conditions are so uncertain. We do not know how the things are going to happen in the next 1 month. Okay, so don't give unrealistic promises. Never give wrong investment tips, especially to your clients. This all can put you in trouble. And as all the speakers have already told, making use of this time to gain extra knowledge in your field through online courses can definitely help you build a promising career in the field of finance. Okay, so these are the general tips that I would like to give to all the students of commerce and management. Before I would like conclude, I would like to stress on the fact that a positive attitude. Don't be depressed, okay, and saying that all what I've learned have become redundant. No, keep it as an make you see it as an opportunity, and the readiness to learn or unlearn, and having an open mind to changes, they are very crucial to face today's uncertain future, which is more like a jigsaw puzzle. So that is very, very important. I hope this session has thrown at least some insights to those who are looking for a career in finance domain area. But let us be hopeful that the conditions would turn favorable, especially for our youngsters. Be positive and adapt yourself and flexible yourself to change. Definitely, you can build a very promising career, and you can kickstart a brilliant career in the area of finance. All the very best to all the students who are entering the job market, and I hope all of you will be realizing your dreams in this area. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity to speak in this webinar. Thank you.
So thank you, Mrs. Jaya Justice. So the three speakers shared their views. Now, all these three speakers were emphasizing one important point. The days of management education is not gone. Still, there is scope for doing management education, BCom, MBA, MHR, and so on. But what is important is we have to be more competitive in the new directions. This is Nisha was emphasizing on the need of new skills, acquiring new skills in marketing. As I mentioned in the introductory part, the old concept of physical marketing is reduced. We have to go for digital marketing, online marketing. Then the strategies of online marketing, the strategies of digital marketing are different from the conventional market. So we have to update our skills, change our strategy. Similarly, in the case of human resources, Mrs. Sunita Bino emphasized that the competence is the most important one. But when we use the term competence, don't get the impression that it is textual competence. This is one problem. If a management graduate or a postgraduate is coming out of his college or her college with a 90% or 95% marks, of course, it is good, but don't think that it is everything. In management field, the corporate world prefer candidates with a 50-50 formula. 50% competence in academics and 50% competence in their day-to-day knowledge, the practical knowledge. So we have to be competitive in the management angle. I put it as 360-degree competence, competent from different angles. Then the third part is Jaya was emphasizing what are the changes in the financial circle, particularly after 1991. There are significant changes in the accounting framework, financial framework, and so on. And one more area which is slowly creeping into accounting practices, it is what is called as the green accounting. We give importance to environment, ecology, etc. And it is linked to the social corporate responsibility of the corporate organization. And also the accounting framework of banks also changed. We heard about the ALM, asset and liability, and so on. I don't want to elaborate. So all these emphasize that for the last 25 years, dynamic changes are coming in the field of management. And tomorrow, we have to face these challenges. Now, based on all this, what paradigm shift is required in the teaching and learning process? As I told you in the very beginning, in Indian management education, it is nearly 60 years old because we started the MBA programs in late 1950s. But majority of the BU schools, they are concentrating to the conventional teaching pedagogy, focusing on textbooks. But what we require is, we have to go for 3 components in our management education. This is what a suggestion what I used to give to the teachers, big schools, when I address them occasion. See, in your pedagogy of learning, teaching, you divide that into 3 parts. One, of course, your textbook, examinations, etc., etc. You give 50% weightage for that fine. Now, the other 50%, you equally divide it between the case studies and the field assignments. Case studies are very, very important. The students, even the undergraduate students, should be trained how to analyze a case. What is a case? How to analyze a case. And through analyzing a case, they are acquiring the practical knowledge relating to different dimensions of management. So my suggestion is to give more emphasis to cases and preferably Indian cases. For example, just one example, I'm listening from a college in Andhra Pradesh, which is in the rural area. See, when you take the case of Andhra Pradesh, there are different rural areas. Can you identify some beautiful rural case studies? Can you identify very beautiful rural case studies? Because the bone of India is in the rural area. Even though we talk about management, Our managements are more urban oriented or corporate oriented. But we have to think of rural oriented management, and there is wide potential in your area for developing small, beautiful case studies for discussing in the class. So, whatever it is, you can. My point is try to focus on Indian based case studies, giving 25% weightage. And the third part, it is practical assignments. Of course, we are sending our students, undergraduate PG students to field. But whether that purpose is really served, whether the students are getting the right information, right knowledge from the present assignment. So if we can think of making it more practical oriented, more field oriented, in the real sense, I think it will be better. So our pedagogy of teaching, either at the graduate level or at the postgraduate level, it should be 50% academics, 25% case study, and 25% highly practical oriented field work or assignments, whatever you call. So again, what I want to conclude is the days of management education, BCom, BBA, MBA, MHR, whatever it is not gone. Still, there is wide scope and wide potential. The post-COVID will give more and more opportunities, but in new dimensions, in new arenas. Accordingly, we have to learn and teach the management courses and discipline. So this is paradigm shift. What is the right emphasis of the webinar? We have to make some changes. We should be ready to undertake these changes and bring these changes in our undergraduate and postgraduate teaching of management. Definitely, the days are still bright in the post-COVID period. This is a summary of the presentations made by three eminent teachers of DePaul Institute of Science and Technology. And I think now the session is open for discussion in three ways. Either you can clarify your doubts, or you can raise questions, or you can have your opinions. Of course, it may be different from what the presenters did, but still, you are welcome to have your own opinions. With these few words, I make the discussion open to the floor. Thank you. Any questions? Clarifications? Opinions?
Sir, may I ask one question?
Yes, welcome.
Is the COVID-19 spreading linked to global climate change? Global climate change.
Yes,
That
yes.
means deglobalization of the world.
Your question is whether the spreading of COVID and climatic changes are associated.
I am asking about,
Yeah.
is the COVID-19 spreading? Is it linked to having any change in our global climate?
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think so, because it is a biological one. And how can be linked to the changes in the global climate?
That means I am asking, especially in the areas of marketing, finance. Okay, any changes we have due to spreading of COVID-19?
Sir, I don't think that has an impact because this is a biological impact. It is not directly related to the climatic changes. COVID is a biological, it is a biological impact, whereas climatic changes is environmental in nature. So it is not linked. It may have an impact on industry because organizations where how we
Yes, I
yeah.
am asking what I mean is I am asking about what are the changes. Climatic means not relating to weather. I am not asking.
Organizational climate. Okay. Organizational climate. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it will have, there would be a shift, sir, because until now we have been looking at a situation where we had a set system, business models were developed in such a way that we followed a set pattern of doing things. But then now, as in 1991, after globalization of Indian economy, what was a shift that we saw in our Indian economy? Similarly, there would be a shift in the global economy now, because this is one thing affected across the globe. All other factors that have affected businesses were in small pockets earlier. Was it either be the Great Depression of 1930s or be the economical crisis? It was in different pockets in different regions across the globe. But COVID-19 has affected the world over. So it will have an impact on how businesses and companies operate. New models are evolving.
Okay, madam.
Sir, have I answered your question? Is it clear?
Clear, madam.
Any other questions?
Any questions, please? So, okay, if you know, don't have any more questions, thank you so much for patient hearing, and I hand over to Vincent de Paul College for the further proceeding. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. As all good things are coming to end in life, so is the webinar. On behalf of DePaul colleges, I take this opportunity to thank all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar on need for paradigm shift in skill sets in the background of current global scenario, organized by our institute. At the outset, I thank God, the Almighty, for blessing all of us be part of and parcel of this webinar and also helping us to complete this aim. At this juncture, I thank our moderator, Dr. KP Mani. Dear sir, we are really enlightened with our knowledge and moderating skills. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time and wisdom with us. We wish you all the success in your future endeavors. We all take this opportunity to thank three speakers of the day: Nisha Jacob, Sunita Benoy, Jaya Justi. Thank you, respected speakers, for inspiring us with this thought-providing presentations. We are also thankful to our principal, Father Matthew, for this enthusiastic support and motivation for this smooth completion of this webinar. We are grateful to Reverend Father Vinith, Vice Principal of DePaul College. A special thanks to the organizing committee, the Department of Commerce and Management Studies, headed by Mr. Samsev Rao and all his colleagues for their unflinching support and coordination. Our heartfelt thanks to all the participants for this webinar for the active participation and support. Last but not least, heartfelt thanks to Mr. Ganesh, our computer department HOD, for all technical support. Once again, thank you all. We move to the end of the today webinar. Dear participants, please fill out the feedback form attached to the chat box, and we will issue the e-certificate to the full participants within 1 week. Now let us join with the Deepal anthem. Thank you.
ज्ञान विचक्षण वरदे दीपो विद्यावसदे क्रैस्तव शास्त्र विशारद विभवे निस्तुल सेवन निरते वचन सुमंगल प्रसरण सुषमे सुभग सुशीतल निलये जनगण परिचरणोद्यतमादे सुललित मानस भरिदे ज्ञानोचित परिपावन चरिदे ज्ञानधनार्जन मिलिदे दीन जनावन शीलन गुणदे मानव मुक्तिद शरणे कन्यानंदन वंदन निरदे धन्यात्मुसीद मुतिदे जय जय विंसन दीपोर्तनये जय पर विद्या वसदे जय दे जय दे जय दे जय दे जय पर विद्या वसदे।